Joining us now, the great senator from Alabama, Mr. Tommy Tuberville. Senator, thank you for coming. We appreciate it very much. When is it that we are finally, the media in this country is finally going to acknowledge that the mission of our Air Force, and I guess the Navy and the whole military, over Iran, obliterated their nuclear program for years, not months, years, 5 years, 10 years, who knows. In fact, really, their whole defense system is obliterated. When's the media going to figure that out, Senator Tuberville?
Well, they're not going to give any wind to this administration, Larry, but I will tell you, I've been to dozens of classified hearings under the Biden administration with the CIA director, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the Secretary of the State, all these people. Today was the first time I went into a hearing with President Biden's, President Trump's crew in terms of people that he brought in, and what a breath of fresh air it was to hear him tell what it exactly was, tell the Democrats, Republicans, this is what it was like, this is why we did it, this is what's going to happen. It was so refreshing to hear people talk with confidence and really understanding that, hey, we're all in this together, Democrats and Republicans, the 100 senators that was in that room. It was a lot of fun to just understand the real truth.
I mean, those, Fordo, Natanz, Esfahal, they were damaged beyond repair. Now, there may be Iranian reserves way below the surface, but they're not going to be able to get to them for a heck of a long time. And if they start messing around, the Israelis will be all over them. I mean, my point is, there has to be some consensus that this worked and that this was the right thing to do. Was there bipartisanship in this meeting? Did you hear that?
There was a little bit, not as much as you would hope. You would hope everybody be on the same side on this, Larry. This didn't come from the classified hearing. I got this somewhere else that probably other people should know. Everybody says, well, they didn't do a lot of damage. How about $2 trillion worth of damage? $2 trillion.
Oh.
And when you have $2 trillion worth of damage, you got problems. And where are they going to come up with the money to redo that damage? Now, it might have set them back, what, year, 2 years or whatever, but to come up with that kind of money, it's going to be a long time before they can get anything going again in the nuclear realm.
One big, beautiful bill, we're having trouble. You're all having trouble with the Senate parliamentarian. We've got one of your colleagues coming on later in the show, but really, this woman is getting involved in stuff she shouldn't be involved with. Revenues matters. It passes the Byrd rule test, but she seems to be ruling it out on the basis of ideology, which surprises me. Somebody going to put a stop to that?
I would hope so. I said today, she's got to be gone. We got to fire her. And this is the reason why. She doesn't put apples to apples. One thing she lets in, next thing that kind of compares to it, no, it's out. She struck out a provision, Larry, that says illegals can't get Medicare.
Right.
Okay, struck that out. Illegals can't get student loans. She struck that out. Taxpayers don't have to pay for transition for minors. She struck that out. Who in their right mind would strike that out of this bill? So yes, you know, Trent Lott fired the parliamentarian in 2001 in a reconciliation process. It needs to be done again. We don't need this partisanship. We need people to do their job. They're not elected. They're hired as an employee. Do your job and don't get politics involved.
Well, while you're at it, Senator, you keep that firing arm going. The CBO, which continues to mislead the entire public. Okay, I think they mislead Congress too. You know, President Trump was just on the screen talking to a group at the White House. If you grow by 3% or better, but say 3% for the next 10 years, and you have all these business investment incentives in this bill, you grow by 3%, you're going to pick up $4 to $4.5 trillion, which will slash the deficit probably by about $8 to $8.5 trillion. If I put the tariff revenues in, it's $10 trillion. My point is CBO is misleading everybody. This bill, with its growth dividend, is going to slash the budget deficit. Now, somebody ought to tell that truth, it seems to me.
Well, Larry, just go back to one thing. The Inflation Reduction Act, the CBO scored this as a big victory and a lot of money and growth. Totally wrong. Absolutely, totally wrong. They have not been right since I've been here. That's another group that needs to be out of here. Again, non-elected bureaucrats. Get people in there that know what they're doing, that want to do it for the right reasons, and quit being partisan. That's what this whole place is about. And if we don't get away from that, President Trump's not going to be able to get his agenda through.
Well, you know, Senator, once upon a time when Ronald Reagan was president, I was assistant budget director in the first term. The CBO hadn't had one right since then. That's over 40 years. But I digress. Senator Tommy Tuberville of the great state of Alabama, thanks for coming on, sir. We appreciate it very much. All right.
Thanks.